What's going on, my trainer club? We are going to check out an analysis of what we had projected for Com Day and what we are actually receiving for Community Day in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about the current trajectory of Community Day in Pokemon Go? Are you satisfied with it? Are you enjoying it? Because the next Com Day we do have is going to be Magikarp. So if you guys didn't check out my prep tips, you're definitely going to want to do that. And definitely stay tuned to all my prep tips because I want to make sure that you guys maximize completely on every single event that we have as much as possible so that you guys can have, number one, the most amount of fun, number two, the most lucrative experience that's going to enhance your gameplay in Pokemon Go. So the reason why I'm making this video today, it is a little bit of a speculation and an analysis looking back for the previous patterns of Pokemon Go's Community Days and then looking at where we're at right now and maybe where that will take us in the near future, because obviously we're not nearly getting as many rare Pokemon in the Com Days. So let's check out what we had in the past as far as Com Days, and then we'll check out where we projected them to be, and then we'll see what we can anticipate for potentially the future. And the main reason why I want to bring this to your attention is because previously we were getting a decent amount of rare Pokemon that are coming to Com Days, which was really cool, and for some reason at one point it completely switched and was not going to be a thing anymore, and you guys will see that was at the point of the Beldum Shiny when they decided to put it in 10-kilometer egg hatches instead of putting it as a Com Day Pokemon, and I think a lot of us were pretty bummed about that decision. So we started Com Days in January of 2018. Yes, that is quite a long time ago, guys. We've been going for over 2 years strong right now. One of my favorite events that is in Pokemon Go that has been added. So January 2018 was Pikachu that acquired the move Surf. So you couldn't evolve Pikachu to Raichu with Surf, but that was the first one ever. And then we're moving on to February. February 2018 was a rare Pokemon right off the bat. We started with the second Com Day. That was going to be Dratini. Absolutely love Dratini. Dratini went all the way into the Dragonite with the Draco Meteor. Probably not the most effective moveset, but this was the first time where like Dratini was somewhat common, somewhat rare, depending on if you knew where to go or not when the game first came out. And it really put this Pokemon on the map, right? Like it allowed everybody to get the shiny. The shiny came out, and then the third Com Day was going to be the first starter ever that we had was going to be Bulbasaur in March of 2018. Great Com Day. Love the shiny, love the evolution shiny, and then it got Frenzy Plant. So that was the introduction to the dominant move of the grass starters for Frenzy Plant. And then moving forward in April 2018, we had Mareep. Mareep, although it's not a super dominant Pokemon, it was pretty rare at the time. Really cool Pokemon, love that shiny. Then we're moving onwards to May. In May, we did have the Charmander come out for the shiny, introducing the Blast Burn as far as the movesets. Then moving onward to June, absolutely love June. It still maintained the rareness because we were getting starter, rare, starter, rare, starter, rare. June 2018 was going to be the Larvitar, guys. Wow. Think about that as of right now. That's kind of like the Gibble of the current situation where it's like everybody wants the shiny. It is super rare. It has made its appearance in an event or two. It's had a little bit of a boosted spawn in eggs and as well as in the wild, but it did not have a shiny yet, and Larvitar came out with Smackdown. And then July went into the Squirtle, which introduced Hydro Cannon. Then moving on to August. August was the first non-rare Pokemon, but this day was pretty fun because it took up 2 days. So we had 2 3-hour periods of Eevee. Eevee went into all the evolutions, which did make sense because since Eevee obviously evolves 6 times into different Pokemon, it made total sense to have this Pokemon, and I think a lot of us did enjoy this Eevee Com Day. Moving into September 2018, we have Chikorita. Chikorita then followed suit with the starters. It did get the Frenzy Plant. Then in October 2018, we did have a rare Pokemon make its appearance, the Beldum. So now we are still pretty much on track. Beldum, pretty rare Pokemon up until this point. Metagross got the Meteor Mash, which made it absolutely dominant. This Com Day was probably one of my favorites, not only because of this, but it also, as far as my prep guide, was going absolutely insane as far as the views. So that's when I started to realize how impactful these rare Pokemon to Calm Days truly are in this game. And then in November, we had Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil going into Typhlosion with the Blast Burn maintained the integrity of this time frame. And then December was awesome because it had all of these Pokemon spawning. Absolutely love the December events. Last year in December, we had the Pokemon Go meetup for the YouTubers in California. Having that day for the evolutions for anybody that did miss out on it, and then we can save some Pokemon, and we can also have a chance to get some of the shinies that we didn't get throughout the year, whether we were playing or we were not. In January, we had Totodile. In February, we had the Swinubs. Then moving into March, we had our first grass starter of Gen 3. So we were ripping through Calm Days, and we had Trico, which did have a shiny potential, all the way into Sceptile with the Frenzy plant. And then in April, we still maintained the integrity of the rareness. We have Bagon. So Bagon comes out really rare Pokemon up until this point. I think I evolved one Salamence, and this was before I was starting to get skeptical about evolving Pokemon, because I also evolved one of my Beldums all the way into Metagross, and then it does have the Psychic moveset, and it didn't get the Meteor Mash, and I haven't used an Elite Charge TM on it, but Bagon, super rare. They give this Pokemon Outrage. Before, it only had Draco Meteor. And then in June, we get Slakoth. And then in August, we had Ralts. I would also say that Ralts was a relatively rare Pokemon as well. Shiny potential great. I had no ill feelings about having any of the Slakoth or the Ralts as far as Calm Day shinies that were being introduced. In September, we had Turtwig. In October, we had Trapinch, and then in November, we have Chimchar, followed by December, which is the Calm Day in California meetup, which then leads us into January. January is then going to be Piplup Shiny. And right here, guys, is kind of when we started to derail the trajectory of what we had projected compared to what is going to be in reality. In February, Pokemon Go introduced the voting system. So the voting system was an absolute landslide for the Rhyhorn, which I do think it deserves. It's kind of on par with a lot of these other Pokemon that we have had in the past, and then giving Rhyperior Rock Wrecker really put it on the map as far as a rock type attacker at a different level without just having Stone Edge like it previously had. So I'm all for this Rhyhorn Shiny Calm Day. It was a lot of fun, but it was a little bit kind of off-putting because it wasn't as rare as a lot of the other Pokemon that had been taking place, and we got to choose which Pokemon, so it wasn't as concrete of a day. And at this time, then we went into the current situation of the world with the COVID. So everything started to derail a little bit. We had Abra Calm Day announced to come out into March. But we then had a little bit of the turmoil start, and then it got postponed all the way into April. So the weird thing here is that it broke up. This was before anything happened. The consistency of having starter rare. Now we're going to a double back-to-back Gen 1 Calm Day Pokemon. And this is before everything started going super haywire. They already had broken up the pattern at this point. So going forward from here, at this point, I could definitely see why they may postpone some of the rare Pokemon so that everybody isn't so incentivized to go outside when it may not be in your best interest or in even a capability in the position where you're at in the world. And then May is going to be the Seedot. I had fun during that day. June was a vote. So June we were able to vote again. Weedle took number 1. July took into the second place from that vote, which is then going to be Gastly. And now in August, we have Magikarp. So if you guys do look at the previous trends and you look at where we're at right now, I'm not so into those last couple months because of, like I said, the world situation. What I am really looking at is going from the Piplup into the Rhyhorn, loved it, into the Abra. So we went from the starter rare into the not so rare. Rhyhorn is very common, but I will give it because it's a Gen 1 Pokemon and it goes all the way into Rhyperior and it has Sinnoh Stones, so it did make some sense. But that next one did not make too much sense because you would have thought it was going to be a starter. So here is what I am thinking may potentially be happening right here, and I'm going to go into the community day projections of what I thought would be, and if it was continuing on that, we would have already seen some really boss Pokemon. So there's one of two things going on. Either the situation in the world was already happening, they started to predict that, and they were like, maybe we should steer away from a little bit more of the rare Pokemon so that most people in the world can participate and not everybody's upset. Totally get that. The other thing that I think could have been happening is that they wanted to start pulling out some of the rare Pokemon, because guys, do remember, Gible was a contender for some of these Calm Days. They put it in 10-kilometer eggs with a shiny before the COM Day could even come out. Usually when shinies are somewhere else, even though we have been seeing it being broken, typically are not going to be the shiny introduction. Previously, Larvitar introduced the shiny COM Day. Dratini, shiny COM Day. We had Mareep, shiny COM Day. Bagon, shiny COM Day. And then Gible just automatically goes into eggs. I remember this was right after the December event. Holly, Jackie, and myself were actually in Tokyo, Little Tokyo, in California after the meetup, exploring, and then we saw the drop of that happen. We were like, wait, is this even seriously happening right now? Because we all wanted it to be the COM Day for the future. So, this is the scenario where I could think that maybe they saw all these rare Pokemon being put into COM Days, and now they're starting to steer away from it because they want to maintain the rarity of these Pokemon and the specialness of getting one of these rare Pokemon and the rare shinies in the wild, and then maybe at some way down the line we can vote for it to be as a COM Day, because I guarantee if Gible was put into any of the voting pools, it would be a complete landslide. Let's have no doubt about that. And the other thing that could have been happening is that we were outpacing the current trajectory of how the releasing is going in Pokemon Go, and like where we would be for the COM Days if we followed that current pattern, which I totally get as well, because now we're gonna check out the predictions and where we would have been if we would have followed suit right now. So in 2019, I put out a video. If you guys haven't checked it out, you might wanna check it out up here because it was pretty cool. It was on track. Guys, I guessed all of the 2019 Community Day Pokemon to a T. We had Turtwig, Trapinch, Chimchar, and December wrap-up. And then January 2020, we had Piplup. We were on track. And then moving into February 2020, that, according to previous patterns, should have been Gible. That's why when that egg came out, it did really mess a lot of things up. Instead of having Gible, we had Rhyhorn. You can imagine the dissonance that we experienced expecting it to be a Gible, and the Gible was put into eggs and we had Rhyhorn. And then March would have been Snivy. In April, we would have had a combination of some of the rarer Pokemon if they didn't get released. Timber also got released into raids with a shiny, which was a big surprise as well. April, June, July, August, September. So those 3 odd months would have been one of the rare Pokemon that we would have been experiencing. It would have been Dino, Axew, or Timber as currently from the previous patterns. However, we've had Dino just been released as a shiny into the egg, so that kind of puts that out. We had Gible released previously. Timber is already in raids and it has a shiny out. So these Pokemon I do anticipate may potentially come back at some point, but it has completely derailed the pattern and we are no longer sitting in this pattern anymore. If you guys do want to check out any of the other pattern, because then we would have had the Snivy, followed by one of those rares, followed by the Tepig, followed by one of those rares, followed by the Oshawott, which would have been in July, which we've already experienced. So guys, do let me know in the comments below, what do you think is going on? Do you think it's because we were number one, outpacing the COM Days, and we would have been way further ahead than what the generations were releasing? Number two, do you think they were trying to conserve the rarity of some of these Pokemon? Because a lot of us didn't have the incentive to hunt because we kind of felt complacent that, oh, Gible doesn't really matter that much because we know it's going to be at a COM Day December in February 2020, as opposed to like what Larvitar, Dratini, and other things like that. But now that it is, I have much more incentive to go out in the wild to hunt it during this event than if I were to have a COM Day for it and knew that it was coming in the shiny form. What do you guys think? And then number three, do you think it has a little bit more to play with the worldly situation, or do you think it's a combination? Me personally, I think it's a combination of the rarity of the Pokemon and everybody kind of getting complacent about not hunting or hatching eggs when it did come out to an event. Number two, I think it was a combination of them outpacing the current generation releases by having that current trajectory, so they had to reevaluate what was going on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed those predictions, and I was excited about that Gible COM Day in 2020 of February. Unfortunately, we did not see it. So I just want to take a moment and thank you guys for being here, all my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody who takes your support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm going to see you guys out on the next video. Peace! I just want to take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.